Okay, so now marketing environment.
This is a place where they exchange of, I can put money service. This is a place where they exchange of, a place of business.
Okay, that's the same thing that Mbenya said. Okay, I'll come back to you soon. I will still come back to you. Yeah?
The marketing environment. It is a place. The place which is surrounded.
Guys, be serious. Let me explain. Smile. Next time, sit uko.
Yes, get to in front.
Okay, yeah, smile. Smile, sit there. Ivy, sit there. Lorraine. Okay, so you were talking.
Yeah. Marketing environment.
You've forgotten what you Okay, so just as you said, an environment is a surrounding. So when we talk about marketing environment, we are talking about the things or forces that exist in marketing. We are talking about the things or forces that exist during marketing activities. So they affect the whole process. So they can either affect it positively or negatively. So these are the things that surround or affect marketing activities. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when we talk about marketing environment, there are two types of marketing environment. There are two types of marketing environment. The first is the micro environment. Micro environment. Do I need to write it down?
No.
Okay, the first is the micro environment and the second is the macro environment. So, to understand these types of environment, you can say to understand these two things, then we have learned in biology.
Yes.
Guys, you learned biology. Micro is small and macro is big. What? About what?
The difference between macro and micro.
Okay, I'm going to explain that difference. I was only trying to explain based on history from where we're coming from, like biology, where they explain that micro is small and macro is big. So in terms of marketing, they have an internal and external environment. This is the micro and macro environment. So according to these two words, which one could be the internal environment? Micro. And macro is the external environment. So the micro environment it includes the forces that affect the business or marketing activities internally. They affect the business or marketing activities internally. So the microenvironment, these are things that the company can control. If it happens, if something happens, they're able to fix it because it is inside the company. Sorry? Which part? Yeah, they can control the forces in the microenvironment. Now, the macro environment. Now, these are forces that affect the micro environment. So, since the macro is big, they affect the smaller environment, which is the micro environment. So, there are forces outside the company that affect its operations. There are forces outside the company that affect its operations. So today we are going to look at the micro environment. That's what we'll look at today. So we are going to look at the forces inside the company that affect its operations. So I'm just going to list down the forces inside the company, the macro environment. So there are several macro environment forces. So the first is the company. The second is intermediaries. The third is customers, the public, competitors, and suppliers. So these are the components of the microenvironment. So these things are said to affect the operations of a business. One way or another, they can affect the business. So the first component that we are going to look at is the company. So we are going to look at the business and the company as different things. How do you think the company would affect the operations of a business? Or let me just ask, how could a company affect its own operations? Sorry?
No, it's employee in company.
Okay. The employees, yes, can also affect the operations and also bad management. You said that. What other way can the company affect the company? Mona, how could the company affect the operations of the business? Yeah, no.
By collaborating with other companies that are low.
Okay, so remember when I talked about the micro environment? So here we're just looking at things that are internal, surrounding the company, closely surrounding the company. So if the company has other partners that are affecting the business, it may affect the operations. That's what you said. Okay, that is possible, yes. Any other ideas? All right, Gertrude. Okay, so the main way in which the company can affect the operations of the business is what Mpenya explained. If the company has bad management or the employees are not fully trained, it can affect the day-to-day processes of the business. So the management, which is the top management, has to make proper decisions to run the company. Because every decision they make can affect the company positively or negatively. So in terms of the employees, companies have to make sure that employees are motivated. They have to have a good relationship with their employees. How do demotivated employees affect business? Okay, so they don't have the passion to work. They don't do things with all their heart. So you need to make sure that they are motivated. How do you motivate employees? Okay, you don't have to give everyone a lot of money, but...
Not a lot, just a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
Making sure that they're working under proper working conditions.
Okay, yes, you have to make sure that the work conditions are perfect for employees.
Giving them resting days.
Resting days like the weekend or Sundays, they need time to rest. Mona? An idea?
No, I was just saying the example of sweating position.
Okay, so if you are running a business, could you afford to give employees a vacation?
Yeah, at least once in a year.
Okay. Because it doesn't happen here. Where? Okay, yeah. Okay, for here we are struggling. Let's just be honest, we're struggling. So not most companies would do that. But they have ways in which they motivate employees. Takutwa?
We provide incentives like healthcare.
Okay, healthcare, which doesn't go for everyone, but it gives people to work hard so they get promoted and yeah, get the Muslim thing. Yeah.
Okay. The name, not an Islamic, but then this is where maybe you give them like a prize of like the most like.
Yes, they get awards. You award employees over a period of time. We see this a lot in the banks, where they take a picture. Yes, the most something cashier or whatever it is. So when you give these awards, when you give them a good place to work, a good work environment, they are motivated to go to work. So it helps in the growth of a business or a company. So these same employees are the ones that deal with customers. So it is very important for a company to, take care of the employees. Yeah?
Are they taking care of you?
Are they taking care of?
Of you? Me?
Benya, what is wrong with you?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, this place is not bad. It's a growing institution, so each employee needs to understand where the institution is coming from and where it's going. But so far, from where it's coming from, it's good. So yes, they do take care of us. Okay, so as you are running a company, you need to understand the goals and objectives of the company. That is the only way you'll be able to run operations day to day to achieve those goals. So each company needs to have goals and objectives. Employees need to follow those goals and objectives. So a company needs to give itself time, a time frame to achieve goals and objectives. So if they want to gain more customers over 6 months, they need to work towards that. So every employee needs to understand what he or she is supposed to do. So the top management makes the decisions and the employees follow. So the running of the company and its success depends on the top management. You also need to look at the finance department to see how funding is going on and about. And you also need to be involved in research. So you need to research your competitors, you need to research the market, your customers, know everything that you need to know in order to run your business. Any questions? Or have you guys understood?
Yeah.
Okay, so the company has different departments. All these departments work together to achieve a common goal. So you need to make sure that things are going on properly in each department so as to achieve the goals and objectives of the company. And the top management is responsible for the decision making. So when they're making those decisions, they need to look at the risks that come with those decisions. They also need to look at if the employees are capable or if there is money enough to handle everything they do. So the employees, since they are working under the top management, they need to be treated fairly, they need a good work environment. They also need to be motivated in order to achieve the goals and objectives of the company. Clear, right? Okay. The second component that we are going to look at is the suppliers. The suppliers. How do suppliers affect business? Chiso. How do suppliers affect business? Judith, how do suppliers affect business? Yeah?
By not providing good resources.
Okay, if suppliers are providing bad resources, it affects business. Takuto?
The suppliers have a shortage. They won't be able to supply, therefore affecting the business they're supposed to supply.
Okay, so if suppliers don't supply in time, they affect the operations of the business. Suppliers play a major role in every business. They are the ones who supply the company with resources for production. So if suppliers don't supply in time, they affect the production. They affect production if they don't supply in time. Another thing that suppliers affect is the price of the final product. If their raw materials are expensive, that cost is passed forward to the final cost of the product. So remember this morning we spoke about the entrepreneurial process, where we're speaking about what happens in entrepreneurship. So first of all, we are looking at ordering raw materials, the whole process of production, and selling them at a higher price. So if raw materials are expensive, that means you also sell at a higher price than normal. And that affects business. Because if your competitors are selling at a lower price, then they will always go to the competitors. Another way in which suppliers affect business is when they supply low quality goods. When they supply low quality goods, so that also affects the output of the product or service. For example, we can look at Eskom. They are the supplier of electricity. So if Eskom and the blackouts have affected businesses overall, that's how suppliers affect business. So operations are not happening the way they were supposed to just because there is no stable supply of electricity. And before you start a business, you need to make sure that in the industry you're going into, there are suppliers for your products or raw materials. If you go into an industry where the suppliers are less, you will be affected by the first part where I said if suppliers supply things late, it affects business. Or suppliers may just go out of business and your business has to shut down because you don't have a supplier. So when you're doing a business, you need to make sure that that industry has enough suppliers. Any questions? Do I have to repeat this or it's understood?
The last part.
Okay, so the last part I was talking, let me give an example of mangoes. you're making mango jam. Mango is a seasonal fruit. So there are times when there are no mangoes in the market. So if you're going into the business where you'll be making mango jam, you need to look at the supply of mangoes. So if you're making mango jam in October where mangoes are not yet ready, it means your business will not run because the supply is not there. So before you start a business, you need to know about the availability of suppliers. Does that make sense? So on suppliers, what a company needs to do is they need to create a partnership with their suppliers so as to reduce costs and also get quality goods. Companies need to create partnerships with their suppliers. So they can get quality goods and also low prices. So that is all about suppliers. The third component that we are going to look at is marketing intermediaries. Marketing intermediaries. Who are intermediaries? Okay, that's correct, but in English. Who are intermediaries? Okay, Judith, you were talking. Okay, so the simple term for market intermediaries is middlemen. So yeah, that's a simple term, but they help the company in a lot of things. They help companies in marketing, they help them in reselling, they also help them in production, or sometimes they help in distribution. Sorry, not production, but distribution. So these intermediaries are individuals who help the company promote, sell, and distribute their products. They are individuals who help the company promote, sell, and distribute their products. So in other words, they are middlemen. So there are several types of sell and distribute their products. A very good example are wholesalers. They order from the company and sell in bulk. So there are different types of intermediaries. The first are resellers. Resellers. The second are physical distribution firms. Physical distribution firms. The third are marketing service agents. And the last are financial intermediaries.
Can you repeat the second?
The second, physical distribution firms. Yeah, like IRM. Marketing service agents. You've got them all, yes? Okay, so the first are resellers. Who are resellers? Yakosa. Who are resellers? From the word resell, who are resellers? Okay, so that's what resellers do. They buy products and sell them for a profit. So resellers help companies to make sales and find customers. They help the company to make sales and find customers. Not everyone can go to the place of production to buy something for themselves. So resellers go to that place of production, they buy in bulk and find customers and resell those products. Examples of resellers are wholesalers and retailers. Wholesalers and retailers are examples of resellers.
Can you repeat the help company?
To sell their products and also find customers. Okay, so the second type of intermediaries are the physical distribution firms. Physical distribution firms. So these guys, the physical distribution firms, they help the company to stock. They help the company to stock and move goods. They help the company to stock and move goods from their points of origin to their destinations. They help the company to stock and move goods from their point of origin to their destinations. So, from the point of origin to their destinations. So these guys have cars and also warehouses where they store these things. So if something is coming from, let's say, South Africa, for example, the ShopRite guys, in case they decide to take things from South Africa, they have people who transfer them from South Africa to here, to their warehouses. From the warehouses, they keep them until the ShopRite guys come to take them. So they're involved in transferring it from one point to another and also keeping it safe. So they are distributors because we all can't go to South Africa to buy. The third type of intermediaries are marketing service agents. Mpenya, what are marketing service agents? Nigel. Linda. What are marketing service agents? Chisom. Yes, it's just as simple as that. They help with the marketing. So marketing service agents are marketing research firms, advertising agents, media firms, and marketing consulting firms. Research firms, advertising agents, media firms, and marketing consulting firms. So these guys help with the marketing of the products and services. So they help with advertising and also help companies to promote its products to the right markets. An example of this middleman is, any idea? We see it all the time. Where do you hear your adverts? Yeah, things like those. So these are the kinds of middlemen we are talking about: newspapers, TV. And we also have marketing companies as a whole. So that's what they do. They help the company to market its products to the right individuals. And the last intermediary is financial intermediaries. What is an example of a financial intermediary? Anyone who has an idea? Banks, yes. So they help in handling the finances of the company. So they handle the finances and they also make sure that your goods are safe. Which intermediary would handle the safety of your goods and services? Any idea? Civil is a transportation company. Physical distributor. This one's handle the. Okay, so if something happens with your physical distributor, someone needs to handle it. Insurance companies, they are on the financial intermediaries. So they make sure that if something happens, they should be able to replace it. So the first thing that people ask when they hear a shop got burned is, what does the insurance company say? Because that's a way of backing up your goods and services, making sure that if you lose them, you can get them back. So those are intermediaries. Any questions so far? You have a question? Okay. The fourth component, after we're done with this, we'll be remaining with customers and competitors. Yeah. Now we are going to look at the public. The fourth component is the public. What is the public? Or who are the public? If you have an idea. Gertrude, I haven't heard your voice. Yeah, the people. Okay, so what do these people do? Okay, so the public are individuals who have an interest in the company. They are individuals who have an interest in the company. So the public are individuals who have an interest in the company. So you've heard of stakeholders. Yes, stakeholders are the public. They are the ones who are not directly connected to the company, but they benefit from the company. They benefit something from the company. So there are different types of publics. Seven in total. 7 types of publics. The first are financial publics. The second are media publics. The third are government publics. Financial, media, government, citizen action, local publics, general publics, and internal publics. So, financial publics include banks. They have a keen interest in the success of the company. Huh? Banks. Financial publics include banks. They have an interest in the success of the company because they do have a customer. And the reason why banks have an interest in the company may also be because of loans that companies take. The second type of public is the media publics. So these guys include the newspapers, the television stations, what these guys are mostly interested in is carrying news about the company. They want to talk about something. So those are media publics. They include blogs or internet, newspapers, television stations. The other type of public is government publics. Why does the government have interest in a company? Taxes, yes. Any other way? Yeah?
Growth of the economy.
Okay, yes. That's how the government has interest in the companies. So the government makes up rules and regulations that companies have to follow. So the company has to make sure that these rules are followed. So if this government says you pay 16.5% as tax, you have to pay that. So the government can affect the operations of the business. And also leadership of the government can also affect the environment of the business. For example, now, Jaguar's leadership is different from Peter or Bingu. Things seem to be worse now than it was before. So leadership, that only shows that leadership has an impact on a business. Then there are citizen action publics. These guys make sure that the environment is safe. For example, we talk about disposing of the things in a company. So if they do not have proper ways to dispose their waste, there are groups that go and implement the shutting down of that company. So they are called citizen action publics. There is proper disposal of waste. So there's the local and general public and also internal publics. So all these types of publics are looking at the benefit. the benefits that the company is bringing. There are the local publics that seek jobs in companies. So if the company is shut down, they will also lose their jobs. So what they are looking for is employment. They want to take advantage in the success of the company. Any questions? Okay. Internal publics, these are individuals like the managers, the workers, the board of directors. They want to see the company succeed, but they also have an impact on the company. Last but one, we have the customers. So, how do the customers affect business? Smile. How do customers affect business?
When they lie about the product, other customers, which is
Okay, so you can repeat what you said.
when the customers give negative information or lie or give bad information about their product, which is a lie. But when the customers lie about the product, like giving negative information or negative compliment about the product, they risk to run from sales.
Have you heard what she said?
Yes.
What did she say?
And the customers give negative information about the business.
The what?
If the customers give negative or give a negative view about the company and the business, it affects the business.
Okay.
Ha, I thought.
Madam, after the citizen action published,
After the what?
the citizen action published,
I was supposed to explain about the local publics. Then the general publics, yes, you have notes about that. Okay, so you need me to explain. The local publics include the people in the environment. For example, Kanengo. Those people that are working around Kanengo, those are the local publics. What they want to benefit from that company is jobs. So they seek employment. So the success of the company will benefit them in terms of employment. If the company is shut down, most people will lose their jobs. So you will notice that the people that are employed in Kanengo, most of them live around. So that's the local publics. The general publics, it's just everyone in general. What they say about the company affects the company. Like what she was saying, when customers give a bad review about a product or lie about it, it affects business overall. You heard about the internal publics. Okay. So we're talking about the customers. So customers can either be B2B or B2C. So they can either be B2B or B2C. It's more like an abbreviation. So B2B customers are called business to business customers. For example, wholesalers or companies that buy to produce. I was given an example of mangoes. There's a company that's producing jam. So there's a company that grows mangoes. For example, the people that buy from farmers to sell. A very good example is the people that buy fish and package it for reselling. Those are business to business. So it's the type of business that's happening between one business and another, not a consumer. B2C is business to consumer. So this is the one that we usually see, where we go to the shop to buy something to eat or something to wear. We are buying for our own personal use. That's B2B. So customers may either be B2B or B2C. So what customers are looking for is the satisfaction of their needs and wants. So the company's main goal should be to satisfy those needs and wants. Guys, Mukumba? Okay. They need to satisfy those needs and wants. If a customer is not satisfied, it leads to low sales. That's what Smile says, that they give negative reviews about your products or services. So it leads to low sales. So on the customers, companies target 5 types of markets. So I'm just going to write them down so I don't have to scream them. So 5 types of markets. The first are consumer markets. So consumer markets, and there's international markets. There's government markets and reseller markets and business markets. So there are 5 types of markets that customers target. So the first market is consumer markets. Consumer markets is the individuals that buy products for personal use. Like what we do when we go to a shop to buy something. We are the consumer markets. Make sense? And consumer markets are individuals who buy products for personal use or for consumption. They're buying something to use it at home or use it right away. Those are consumer markets. The second are business markets. So these are organizations or businesses that buy goods or services for processing. They buy, yeah?
Madam, the definition,
Of,
the woman, I thought there was supposed to be given definition in relation to market.
yes. Okay, so when we talk about markets, we are talking about individuals. When we go to a markets, these are people who are buying from you.
So, what is
Not the market as you've gone to 25 in Sungwi. We are talking about the companies or individuals that are buying from you. So a lot of individuals make up a market. Business markets, these are companies that buy goods or services for processing. For example, a company buys timber to make chairs. That's a business market. They're buying it to make something else. The third type of markets, which is reseller markets, an example are wholesalers. They buy to resell at a profit. They buy goods and services to resell at a profit. The other type of market are government markets. So these are government agencies that buy goods or services to produce public services. They buy goods or services to produce public services or transfer them to those who need them. They are government agencies that buy goods or services to produce public services or transfer them to those that need them. An example of public services include the public hospitals, ADMAC, the security system, the MDF and their friends. So they buy, we see them buy things for these things, for the police, for the hospitals. So they are government markets. And lastly, there are international markets. What are international markets? International markets? You? Yeah.
I think there are companies that export and import goods.
Okay, so here it's about the importing. So international markets are buyers in other countries. They are buyers in other countries. So those are the customers that marketers meet in the market. Any questions on customers? So lastly, we are going to look at competitors as a microenvironment force. Competitors. How do competitors affect business? We all know who competitors are. So how do they affect business? What kind of pressure?
Always have like really very good, like for example, something new, or either lower the prices so that they push
Yes, they may have something better than you, or they may force you to lower your prices because they have low prices. So, when we talk about competitors, every company needs to understand the weaknesses of their competitors and also their strengths. Companies need to understand the weaknesses and the strengths of their competitors. So the reason why companies need to understand the strengths and the weaknesses of their competitors. So the reason why you need to understand their weaknesses is because you want to use it against them. You want to use their weaknesses against them. So in a way, you're trying to tell your customers that this is what they don't have and I have it. So you need to buy from me. So the prices of the competitors affect your own prices. And you can also use competitors' strengths to improve your business.